Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out. Yeah.
All right. Welcome back, SportsRanter Nation. The waiting, the anticipation, the long off season is over, and we are back, ready to help you create your championship football teams for 2024. I want to say thank you and welcome to all of our hosts, Nico, Drew, Jake, and Ben. And we're going to be here with you live every week, every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific time, talking about our favorite subject, which is fantasy football. So like I said, this is your safe place. We're going to be here for you every Tuesday. And we've got over 40 years of fantasy football experience right here for you at the Sports Ranters. So we've had the Black Monday. We've had the free agency market, all of which has changed the fantasy world every year. So we want to dive right into it. We have a love-hate list for you guys for the top 4 positions in fantasy that you need. We're not going to cover kicker or defense. We are going to go through each one, love and hate, and then we also have a surprise question for you. And I suggest that you stay to the end. So we're going to implement some real sports ranting, some real sports talk. We're all citizens and humans of this world, so we're going to start discussing these things on our channel here. So without further ado, let's go into it. We're going to go to love-hate for quarterback, running back, receiver, and tight end. We only have so much time, but let's start with quarterbacks. We're going to start with the love for the quarterbacks. I'm going to pass it to my main man, Nick. Please start us off. Like I said, please, as you're giving us your guys, try to implement your strategy. Kind of fit in how you're going to go with your strategy with this year so our viewers can figure out what they're going to do. So go ahead, Nick. Take it away.
Got it. Super excited for this season. I'd like to emphasize defending champ in our league is here.
No.
I can finally say that. For the first time. And so, playing off that, my goal every year is value, right? Value pick. So it's not talent. It's not the talent. It's what value I can get at every pick. So that's how I kind of did my list. Not all of them are exactly like 100% value, but majority of them are. I love them because of the value you can get, or I just feel like they're going to perform well. My 3 quarterbacks this year, he was on my love 2 last year, and Ben hated on it, so I'm going to double down with Aaron Rodgers. I think he's just got a lot to prove, and when Aaron Rodgers plays pissed, he tends to be a prick like that, and I just feel like he wants to prove everybody wrong,
Aaron Rodgers a prick?
I thought he was going to do it last year, but injury got him, right? Sniped him, said, hey, you need to shut it up for a little bit. So I think he got humbled in that aspect in a certain way, but his arm is still his arm. Garrett Wilson there. His weapons are still his weapons. Breece Hall is coming back to, it's going to be madness, I think, offensively there. I don't like him and the head coach beef and all that drama and stuff, but when it comes to ball on the field, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to light it up again and be a top 10 quarterback. Drew's going to obviously love this pick. I talked about Brock Purdy all year last year. I like him because of the weapons. You can talk about his talent. Yes, I don't care. It doesn't matter. His weapons are there. He's going to throw 2 touchdowns every game, no matter what. It's just there. He can dump it off to McCaffrey. All the stuff we argue about, well, now it's just fantasy. I don't care about the talent of him. He's got all his weapons. I think you could get him a little later, too. He's not on that top echelon of getting drafted. So you can get that there. And then my other value pick is I'm a big believer in Caleb Williams. He's just a little bit in the one preseason game. I'm like, dude, the guy could throw. Sometimes I test, the guy could throw. And again, weapons galore there now with DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, Keenan Allen. He can still dump it off to Joe Mixon. Oh, no, that's the Houston.
Swift.
DeAndre Swift out of the backfield. Yeah, that was a good running back. So he's still got weapons galore there, too. So
you're watching too much Hard Knocks, man. You're watching too much Hard Knocks.
Yeah, no, he wasn't on Hard Knocks, but yeah, I like it. I like Hard Knocks, but yeah, those are my 3 quarterbacks that I love this year.
All right, Drew. He mentioned Brock Purdy, so does he make your echelon of top quarterbacks, Drew?
We'll talk about the Niners and Brock Purdy in just a second. He actually doesn't make my list. Like I said, we'll get to that conversation. I'm actually kind of terrified of the 49ers right now and what they're doing with their
So
front
am I.
office
So am I.
and not having Trent Williams play and not having Ayuk and not having Christian McCaffrey at camp. And I'm actually really worried for the 49ers for the first couple of weeks of the season to get them gelling. So I'm actually kind of trying to fade off Brock Purdy, but it's a different story. QBs I love. Well, I'm just gonna get right to it. Matt Stafford. He didn't have both guys last year pretty much the whole time. I mean, Cooper Kupp went down for a while. Puka Nacua was out for a little bit. You found the emergence of Kyron Williams. You bring back both healthy Puka and Cooper, and then you still have Tyler Higbee, who's relevant enough to stay in the game. But dude, Matt Stafford's just a slinger, bro. Like that offense just is gonna get it going. Their defense is even worse now. They lost Aaron Donald. Like they're gonna be in shootout games almost every game of the season. Like their defense is so bad that they're gonna have to put up 25, 30 points a game. And it's like, yeah, maybe Puka, maybe Cooper Kupp, they're overvalued in some things. But guess what? Matt Stafford's not overvalued. Matt Stafford's still just in the middle of the ninth, 10th round. You can swoop him up, and he's going to get you close to 4,500 yards passing, and he's probably going to get you close to 30 touchdowns. It's like, what more do you want in a quarterback? Yeah, he doesn't have the scrambling upside. Okay, I get that. But in a game where you're just going out there and you want a quarterback that's not going to kill you, Stafford's not going to kill you in a lot of games. Next guy I'm going to go to is going to be Kyler Murray. He lost weapons. Yeah, he lost Hollywood, but he just got, Maserati Marvin. Like, you got Marvin Harrison there now. You got Trey McBride. Like, Trey McBride had a real huge breakout towards the end of the season. It's reflecting his ADP right now. And then you also bring in a guy named Michael Wilson, who's pretty legit. And James Conner has just been there, that he's just a steady horse. And I feel like with Kyler there, full off season of OTAs, the scrambling upside, I think he's going to be in that position where you're going to want him on your squad. Next guy showed some emergence towards the end of the year last year. I still hate on him. I don't like the contract that the Packers gave him, but Jordan Love can be a guy. Jordan Love can be a great guy in fantasy. He doesn't have a true number one. These guys in Green Bay, they're all young. You know what I mean? They have the youngest receiver core in league history, I believe, last year. And Jordan Love has really came in and he's like, hey, I'm just going to sling the ball to anybody. You know what I mean? That doesn't make it great for receiver value, doesn't make it great for running back value. But if you're open, he gets you the ball. And I want somebody like that on my team. I don't have to worry about the receivers. I don't have to worry about this, that, and the other. There's no drama. There's no, I'm a number one. I'm Stephon Diggs. I'm this, that. No. These guys all just go out there and they all just play football. And if Jordan Love's going to sling the ball, they're going to be happy. I like that kind of stuff. I don't like the drama with these high-end receivers and this, that, and the other. They're all just going to go in there and just play. I like that about Jordan Love and the Packers.
And it seemed like he finally figured out that offense. It took him 6 weeks, but
he sucked in the first half of the season, bro. Sucked.
I know. All my bets were whoever Green Bay was playing, and I was winning the first half of the season. Then that didn't pan out very good the second half of the season.
Yeah, he turned it on. He really found his stride like around week 8, week 9.
So you can,
but before that, at the end of the day, he only had 9 games where he had 250 yards more throwing. Like, he really wasn't that great of a quarterback, but towards the end, he just really started turning it on. But I'll go to the next guy so we can continue to let it flow.
Yeah, speaking of drama, Jacob, please, who do you have for us at the helm?
So I did as far as my love-hate based on, the ESPN rankings and where ADP is based on the ESPN platform, which we all kind of use. I'd like to preface that, the difference in scoring, make sure you know your league. The difference in scoring between Nick's league, where a passing touchdown is 4 points in Nick's league, as opposed to in my league where it's 6 points, that does make a big difference. So in Nick's league, I'm valuing somebody like Josh Allen way higher than I would, in a 6 point scoring league where you got a lot of, the point variation is going to be different with that. So, that being said, my strategy going into drafts, a lot of drafts is value at the quarterback. There are plenty of times where if I'm sitting in my draft and the third round comes around and the price is right for a guy like a Josh Allen or whatever, I'll absolutely take it. But my first love right now is Tua Tagovailoa. He's going quarterback 19 right now, which is pretty much right around the area of Goff and Stafford. Finished quarterback 9 last year in scoring, and this offense hasn't changed. It hasn't gotten any worse. They still have all the pieces. You still have Tyreek Hill. I'm absolutely passing on the big names like the Lamars and Josh Allen's. If I can get Tua later, later in the draft, to me, that's a fantastic value. I think he's going to have a great year. My second love is Jared Goff. Again, this is another guy. He's a game manager. He doesn't rush a whole lot, but he's on one of the best offenses in football. And he's pretty much free at the end of the draft, where I got no problem taking that guy and using my third, fourth round pick, where a guy, where CJ Stroud or some of these guys are going. Give me Goff any day, 6 rounds later. On an offense that, again, it hasn't changed. There's been no coaching philosophy changes. His weapons are all there, and everybody's healthy. I'll take that gamble and take that value in those later rounds. My third, if I'm gonna reach a little, and I like the big names at quarterback, and I want to reach and get one of those guys, in that 4th, 5th, 6th round area, is Burrow. People got really burned by Burrow last year. He was one of those guys that everyone put a lot of stake in when they drafted him. He was hurt. First, people forget the calf injury in the beginning of the year, and then he tore the ligament, and it was just like you got burned. And then any piece in that offense that you had, you got this taste in your mouth, and it wasn't the same offense without Burrow. If Burrow's healthy now, they still got Chase. P. Higgins is still there. There's nothing that would stop me if Burrow fell. Even his ADP right now is, where is he at? He's going quarterback 7 in the 5th round. If he's sitting there and I'm late in the 5th, give me Burrow all day. I'll take that. He's already put up the numbers before. It's not like he has to prove something. We all feel like a guy like maybe Jordan Love or whoever, they want to see it again or got something to prove. But Burrow's done it, and if he's healthy and that offense, is healthy, then I'll take Burrow all day. Honorable mention, Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins coming off the Achilles. People are writing that off. Don't want to draft. Don't want nothing to do with it. But fantastic weapons all around him at every position in Atlanta. But Kirk Cousins if he's healthy, will probably win some leagues for some people that take the gamble and grab him.
Fantastic. I love it. Well, for the sake of time, Drew already kind of covered 2 of the ones that I love. But based on my strategy, I kind of agree with Jacob. I'm always going to go late. Quarterback. Later rounds. It's all about value. And I still believe you should stack your team with running backs and receivers all the way through the first 8 rounds before you even think about getting a quarterback. So I'm not so sure if these guys will be here, but I think Jordan Love, I think Kyler Murray will be there. But like I said, I love them as a value pick. Someone who I'm willing to take late. They're going to toss around the ball a lot. But the one guy I do love, who may not be there late, but I'm gonna be shooting for him in all my leagues, because I had him in the beginning of all my leagues last year, leading in points, staying away from the pack when I had Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson is something else, and I do believe he takes stock away from Jonathan Taylor. He has that Cam Newton-like feel. If you're at the goal line, who are you going to give the ball to? Anthony Richardson or Jonathan Taylor? I think it's Anthony Richardson all day long. And so he's who I'm aiming for as one who I love on a good team. I'm going to go ahead and steal the show and get right into the hate. For the quarterbacks, okay? Number 1, I don't like Daniel Jones. I know they brought in Malik Neighbors. I know they brought in some other tools on offensive line. But coming off of a knee injury, they're still kind of teasing it in the off season. I'm not a big believer on what they are doing with Daniel Jones and even with Malik Neighbors as a rookie. So we'll see. Deshaun Watson. What's going on with Deshaun Watson? Deshaun Watson was drafted the same year as Patrick Mahomes, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
And it's
Correct.
just so weird that we've had this Pat Mahomes career and Deshaun Watson's almost forgot about. Well, I'm completely forgetting about him now. I'm not so sure he's going to even be relevant anymore. But the one guy I'm hating on, number one, I don't like it. I don't like Justin Herbert. I do not like Justin Herbert whatsoever. They've obviously stripped all his weapons away. I know Harbaugh is going to focus maybe on other things. He's got enough faith in Herbert to last through the rebuild. So that's what's happening. If you're a Charger fan or you think, I would just stay away completely from Justin Herbert this year in particular. So that covers my love and hate. So please, we got to continue with the hate with quarterbacks with the other three hosts.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ben, with your three. I'm gonna go against Jake here, and one of my hates is Joe Burrow, and not because of talent, not because of anything
I like this part.
Jake said, but I don't trust his injury. You know, even quarterback 7, you're expecting a top 10 quarterback. Guy can't stay healthy. I can't draft a top 10 quarterback who can't stay healthy. So, and not only that, you got Jamar Chase not really happy. Higgins not really happy, wanting to go. Like, you got a lot of drama with the receivers. I think it all settles out once you put on the pads and get out there. I get that, but just all that background stuff and then his injury stuff. And the thing is with injury prone guys, and we've learned this time and time of year, it's not one thing. If it's not his calf, it's his shoulder. If it's his elbow, it's his hip. He's just that guy. Like that, I can't trust him. So if he stays healthy, Jake's gonna be dead on. If he doesn't, then obviously I'll win that argument. But it really is just health. Has nothing to do with talent or his weapons or anything. Just the health. So I don't want to draft him that high for health reasons. The other one is Trevor Lawrence. I haven't been a fan of him. I don't know, Mr. Golden Boy hasn't turned into Golden Boy. He does all right, but for fantasy, he's just an average quarterback. I don't like him. He's got weapons there too and stuff. But we've seen enough. He is what he is. Like, what is he going to become? He's not going to become Patrick Mahomes like everybody thought. He's not going to be that. So it's just if you need a filler quarterback, he'll be there. He'll get you, 180 yards, 200 yards, and 2 touchdowns maybe. But it's just I don't like. He has too many get down games. And the other one is, even though I love the talent, is Jaden Daniels. So I just don't trust the Redskins right now. I don't trust their O-line. I don't trust.
They're the Washington Commanders. Okay, let's not get canceled.
Oh shoot, the Washington Commanders. I just dated myself, but yeah, I don't know. I don't really see, a lot of rookie quarterbacks come in and jump off the scene. So if Caleb's going to be my guy, it's going to be hard. We don't normally see 2 rookie quarterbacks, light it up, right? So if I'm banking on Caleb, then all these other quarterbacks, I got to have that transition rookie year. I'm not saying they're not going to be good, but just like last year, right? We wanted Anthony Richardson. And all these rookie quarterbacks were supposed to, go off, and we got one, CJ Stroud, and that's it. So I see the same. It'll be Caleb's rookie year. All these other quarterbacks will need to develop a little bit, and they're kind of going into a lot worse situations. So I say give it one more year for Jaden Daniels, and then we'll see where he's at.
Fantastic. So let's just try, for the sake of time, you guys. We're already keeping up on a 20-minute mark. So let's just name your 3 a little bit per 3, and then let's just move on. And then we'll get the chance to talk about it all at the end here. So we're still on the hate for quarterbacks. Drew, go ahead.
I'll finish it out. I think this first one's pretty easy. It's Baker Mayfield. Yeah, honestly, you might even get drafted in a lot of your leagues, but I just don't like him as far as he doesn't have much talent around him, and he has never been that good of a quarterback. The other 2 I have are actually pretty spicy, and there's always room for debate with this. But honestly, I think Josh Allen. He went to a very run-heavy offense towards the end of the year last year with Joe Brady. James Cook really started getting involved. Yeah, Josh Allen's still going to get red zone rushing touchdowns, but you just lost basically your best receiver. You have 240 vacated targets that you need to find, and you brought in absolutely nobody to give them to. And Josh Allen already is that guy that we already praised that he has to do so much. Well, guess what? He's doing even more now. And those touchdowns and those interceptions that he had are probably going to become more now because he has nobody to throw to. His best receiver is Curtis Samuel and Keon Coleman. I can't believe into that. The next one for me is CJ Stroud. I mean, you had one of the best rookie years of all time. Your touchdown and interception percentage was the best, other than Aaron Rodgers. So it's like, how do you expect somebody to continue to stay at that level? It's not tangible. I don't see that. It's like he has to do so much to keep his value just what it is. And it's like, yeah, you brought in some more weapons, but I just play the ladder of that, and I think he can come down a little bit. He's still gonna be great. Like, he's still gonna be great, but for the value that you're gonna draft him at, you need to have him have last year's success, and I can't bank on another quarterback to have that much success, and I don't want to do it.
Go ahead, Jake.
All right, so my hates, man. First off, right away, I'm not taking the gamble on Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has always, through his career, been a guy that, can scramble out of the pocket, make plays happen. I don't trust the Achilles. I don't trust the injury on that field. Not to mention all the drama that he's had, not showing up at OTAs. I think his team is he's supposed to be the savior. That's what he was hyped up as. He doesn't show up. He's, you've already heard little blips here and there about like having beef with Garrett Wilson and all this and that. Aaron Rodgers is one of those quarterbacks that where he's going in our fantasy drafts. I'm not willing to take the gamble on. Same thing with CJ Stroud. Great talent, as Drew said. I simply agree. He's too expensive. There's a lot more quarterbacks that I would take before CJ Stroud based on just where CJ Stroud is going. My third hate, and this is not a debate about talent anymore. It's simply this: Brock Purdy. Last year, Brock Purdy finished second in touchdown passes. They were last in the league in passing attempts. That's just a statistic that doesn't carry through. To have second most touchdowns in the league, but then you're last in passing attempts. I don't expect that again. And for a guy, quarterback 11, when I can go get a Matthew Stafford, a Jared Goff, one of these guys like way later in the draft, I'll take those guys any day over Brock Purdy. I think that is going to, especially with the Brandon Ayuk situation now, it's just not somebody that I'm willing to take the gamble on based on where he's going ADP.
Excellent. Well, we're already going back and forth with some love-hate on quarterbacks. That's only number one. But let's hop right into the running backs. Okay, for my first love for running backs, I got Saquon Barkley. The Giants were trying to keep him. They really, really want to keep him. The problem is they had to pay $40 million to Daniel Jones, a nobody, and so they just could not keep him. They allowed him to go extend the market. He got a better deal. He wanted to be a Giant, but he ended that year, I think, sustaining his body, being able to stay healthy. Your best ability is your availability. Saquon Barkley is showing that, and I think he revamps it in Philadelphia. And as far as play action guys, the staple, I believe Kyren Williams we know now is a staple to the LA Rams and that play action offense and that fast. And I really, really love me some Derrick Henry in Baltimore. I'm not so sure that he's going to get the workload that he always has, but the work that he does get is going to be effective in that offense. Hopefully do the same thing last year and run the ball and keep running the ball in the playoff game against the Chiefs. Gosh dang it. All right, so that's my love running backs. And go ahead.
Quick with mine. I like Jonathan Taylor. I feel like if Anthony Richardson is the quarterback he is, he'll take the load off Anthony Richardson. Yeah, maybe he takes some touchdowns, but Jonathan Taylor's talent is just there. So if he has a competent quarterback all year long, I think he's great. James Conner is just the engine that keeps on going. I don't know why to doubt this guy. Every year we think he's not going to be okay, and he's a top 10 running back, and you can always get him late every single year. So I just love James Conner. And then I'm going to be a homer pick here. Antonio Pierce is trenches, run the ball guy. We saw what Josh Jacobs could do. Zamir White's finally getting to get his load on with the Raiders, and we don't have no quarterback to be slinging it all day long. So they're going to be giving Zamir White 20 touches if he can handle it. It's a little bit of a gamble, but if he can handle it, I think he could have a breakout year. He can win some fantasy leagues just because of how Antonio Pierce wants to run the Raiders.
Drew, take it away.
I think this one is gonna make people go like, why? But I like Alvin Kamara, dude. I mean, the value in itself. If you're in a PPR league, any sort of PPR league, but a full point PPR league, Alvin Kamara is a smash. I mean,
Why?
he ranked number one in target share. He had 75 catches and he missed 3 games. The dude is, and then you bring like just a quick little snippet. You're gonna bring Kyle Shanahan's guy, passing coordinator, over there, and they gave Chris McCaffrey a lot of balls. And who else are they gonna throw the ball to over there? They have nobody. I'll go with my next guy is Isaiah Pacheco. That offense is too damn good. He's starting to hit the stride towards the end of the year last year, and they really just started really feeding him the ball. And I don't see any of these receivers that they got taking this huge gamble forward. I feel like Isaiah Pacheco is still going to be a pretty big workhorse. The next guy is Raheem Mostert. I mean, he's still there, you know, and I mean, I get it. They have Achane there, and he's younger, and this, that, and the other. And Raheem Mostert's on a career high of insane amount of touchdowns. But even if you bring down Mostert's touchdowns to like a value where it's like 10 to 12 touchdowns, you're still gonna be pretty happy with that. You're not expecting Raheem Mostert to be number 2 running back again. Like, you're still drafting this guy in the 9th or 10th round, and it's like, if he just gets you some little bit, he's gonna have obviously touchdown regression. If he still gets you in that 8 to 12 range, you're gonna be more than happy with him if he can stay healthy again. That's always been his knock on his career, is his health. But he showed last year he can do it, and the other year when he was healthy with the Niners, he did it well, and he was one of the best running backs in the league as well. So if he's healthy, he's a stud. I'll take it.
Man.
Right. My running backs, I really tried to go with just value on this. You know, so my first love is, and this guy won me championships, you know, last season. But David Montgomery, currently right now, the running back 25 in ESPN leagues. The Lions, although they started like moving towards Jamar Gibbs last year, they clearly still had David Montgomery as part of the game plan. I expect the Lions, as far as game script goes, with that offense, to be ahead in a lot of games. They're not going to put little Jamar Gibbs out there when they're up by 2 touchdowns to keep pounding the fucking ball. They're going to keep putting out David Montgomery. He still has a role, and I still expect him fully to get 10-plus touchdowns. And when he's going as currently the running back 25 in the 7th/8th round, give me that all day. I'll take it all day long. The next one is same story. Gus Edwards. Chargers right now, like if you look at that running back room, Gus Edwards with us behind that offensive line, which could be absolutely stellar. Gus Edwards will probably get double-digit touchdowns. I am not saying he's going to pile up all these yards and this and that, but for a guy that you can get at running back 38, like, give me a break. I'll take that all day. You're telling me that guy's not going to finish as a top 2, top 3 running back? Give me a break. And then Joe Mixon. Like, I don't know why everybody every year shits on this guy for injuries or whatever, this and that. All the dude does is just go. So he goes to this offense, probably, you know, one of the better. I mean, I know he was with, you know, Cincinnati for all those years, and they just brought in Chase and all that stuff. But this offense that he's with the Texans is prolific. He's not going to have to run the ball 25 times a game. And again, it's the same thing. I expect that offense to be ahead in a lot of games. Like, Mixon's going to get a lot of touches the 3rd, 4th quarter. You know, the guy has not shown signs of slowing down. He was the running back 6 last year. Like, I'll take Mixon all day long. Honorable mention, Jaleel McLaughlin's been getting a lot of hype. The guy made a statement last year with Denver. We don't know where Javonte Williams is at, where Samaje is at, but Jaleel McLaughlin, currently running back 50 with ESPN. You can get the guy pretty much free at the end of your drafts. Like, that guy made, you know, within the first few weeks of the season, turn out to be like somebody that they really lean on. And so, like, Jaleel McLaughlin, somebody to keep your eye on as well. Those are my loves on the running backs.
Excellent. Well, I tell you what, it's really hard to find hate for running backs because they're very valuable, especially if they're starting, but they're still out there. I don't want to draft these guys. I don't want them to do it, though. My 3, Ramondre Stevenson, Jalen Warren, and Rashad White. They've got the Patriots have no threat at quarterback, so teams will stack the box versus a threat of Ramondre Stevenson. I'm staying away from it. Jalen Warren and G. Harris, figure it out. I don't know what they're going to do. Same thing. We got new things happening with the quarterback situation. I just don't know how they're going to balance this out. And Rashad White, Tampa Bay. Just a quick note, Carolina Panthers training camp. Dave Canales has stayed true to his run game mantra. So they're going to continue to do that. So Rashad White loses that in Tampa Bay. They're not going to focus on the run as much with Rashad White. And those are my hates for running backs to stay away from. Nick, go ahead. Uh-oh, Nick. You're muted, Nick.
You're mute.
We don't want to hear it anyways.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, there you go.
Who wants to hear about starting running backs that are hates?
Yeah.
James Cook, enough said. Bills running game, who can trust it? Josh Allen's there. He's going to take all the touchdowns. DeAndre Swift, we kind of touched on a bit. It's going to be Caleb's year. They're going to want to sling it. DeAndre Swift is not a ground and pound guy anyways. He's got some PPR value there, but, I mean, they got so many weapons there. I don't know how great of a season he's going to have. And then any Dallas running back, I don't care who it is. I don't know who it is. It doesn't even matter unless they trade for somebody. If you're just stay away from Dallas running backs. They're not going to do anything anyways. So those are my hate.
Come on, Drew.
I'll keep mine simple. I mean, the guy, he always gives you like a couple weeks where you think you're going to be great, but he kind of falls flat and he always goes like limp. It's Travis Etienne. Sorry.
Limp like your golf clubs?
Limps like my golf clubs, yes. Aaron Jones. Look, Aaron Jones, he turned it on at the end of last year, but I think he only had like 3 or 4 games total all last year where he had over 100 yards rushing. And that's on a Green Bay Packers team. I get it. He's going to the Vikings, but guess what? That's even in a worse situation. They don't have a quarterback. They're going to give Justin Jefferson the ball. They just gave him how much damn money. They're going to try to somehow, some way, I don't know. That offense, I just want to stay away from that whole offense. Vikings are going to suck. They're going to be terrible. And Rashad White, I feel like I'm just picking on Bucks, but Bucks offense is not something I want a part of this year as well. Rashad White, yeah, he's good PPR value. He can catch some balls. He's highly efficient in that. But like Ben said, even though he called him Canales anymore, not Carnitas Burrito anymore, so that's a plus.
That's an improvement.
He looks like he was a stud everywhere he went as an offensive coordinator. So who knows if Rashad White's success that he had will continue. He always has been a very inefficient runner. And if he's not getting targets like he did, getting hyper-targeted, I don't really want that in my lineup.
I definitely have bought in. Jacob.
Travis Etienne, the running back 3 last year. You don't want a part of that?
No thanks.
Running back 3. Wow. Okay. My hates. I'm with Drew on Aaron Jones, mainly because like Ty Chandler did make a name for himself. At the end of last year, Aaron Jones has kind of been this name that I think people have held on to in like fantasy drafts and just whether it's injury, whatever. Like he's still a great pass catcher, but I mean, your quarterbacks now are a rookie, and then Sam Darnold. It's not Aaron Rodgers anymore. So I'll pass on that. The other one is Jonathan Taylor for exactly the reason Nick said he liked Jonathan Taylor, but I think that we've had 1 year out of Jonathan Taylor. The injuries have been there nonstop. It's always an ankle or something like that. And I think that Anthony Richardson is going to be, again, he missed his whole rookie year. A lot of the times it's essentially feels like his rookie year, going to rely a lot on his legs, especially around the goal line. I just don't think for where Jonathan Taylor's going in drafts, I just think Anthony Richardson's going to take too much away from him for it to be worth it in that spot. The other one is Ramondre Stevenson. It's just I don't think the Patriots offense is there yet. And Ramondre Stevenson is lumped in where he's going in drafts on the ESPN is lumped with DeAndre Swift and James Conner. I'll take either of those guys any day on those offenses over Ramondre Stevenson. I just don't feel like the Patriots are going to do a lot of scoring.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. And we move right along, guys. Like I said, we're hitting up close to time, so we're doing better. Just try to get through each one. But now we're on wide receivers.
Kicking ass, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we're doing wide receivers. And so for my love, I love Puka Nakua. I love him this year. I think he's got overvalue over Cooper Cup. He's going to be the staple of that offense. And obviously, they're going to a bunch of people pick before him. And so I'm going to be happy to have him on my team. I like Garrett Wilson with the return of Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers finding him his own man crush. And it's going to be Garrett Wilson. And then also, obviously, with a chip on the shoulder, like Nick was saying. And then, but what Nick would love is I love me some Davante Adams. Okay, maybe I'm watching too much receiver on Netflix or whatever it is, but it's true. His release off the line is like nobody else's. It's ridiculous how fast he separates from his any defender. And so they lose Josh Jacobs, they lose run game. They're gonna throw the ball to their playmaker, which is Davante Adams. Okay, And just to go through my hate list just real quick for the sake of time, you guys. I hate Calvin Ridley. I hate George Pickens. And I hate Cooper Kupp because of my love for Puka Nakua. I think Cooper Kupp is reaching that age bracket now where he's just, look, like, get off my team. Sorry, you were great, but what have you done for me lately? That's what sucks for Cooper Kupp. Calvin Ridley, just stay away from him. And George Pickens, we'll find out who the quarterback is, what happens. But there you go. There's my love-hate for receivers. Go ahead, Nick. On mute this time too. We do want to hear this. Receivers very important.
So mine are. I don't. Tyreek Hill. I think he's obvious, but I love him and I put him on there even a first round pick. I will take him. Like he's just so money.
How early would you take him over McCaffrey?
With the number one pick, I don't know yet. But the second one, I'm already starting to think. So that's the only one. Other than that, I'm probably taking them. The other one I love is I have a little rookie theme here. Marvin Harrison Jr. Dude, the guy's a stud. Yeah. Receivers, one of the easiest ones to come in. We've already seen it year after year. Puka and Jefferson and dude, rookie receivers. If you're talented, you're gonna blow up.
Then I gotta go next.
Marvin Harrison, that guy this year. And then because of the weapons, C.J. Stroud, all that guys. I like Nico Collins. I think Diggs will actually take people away from Nico Collins, and I think he's still the unsung hero there. That's gonna. What are you doing? Sorry about that. My kid just knocked over my mic.
Oh, 9-year-old boys, 10-year-old boys.
So, and then just hey, real quick, Brandon Ayuk. I don't have to say anything more. Good luck with that situation. Ben, you touched on Malik Neighbors. Don't need to touch on that situation anymore. No quarterback. And then Jordan Addison. Andrew, you already talked about it. Minnesota, no quarterback. JJ got paid. He always takes everything. I don't see JJ McCarthy or whoever's throwing the ball to be able to spread the ball that much where Jordan Addison has the same type of year that he's been having or that he had last year. So those are my quick hates.
I'm sorry, Drew, but Jake has to intervene
just because I have some opposites of both of you guys. So I love Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp right now on ESPN is going at the wide receiver 24, and I'll take Cooper Kupp at 24 over Puka at 7 all day long. The only reason that Puka had a breakout last year was because Cooper Kupp got hurt. And so again, it's an if, but in fantasy football, you can't always go in like we're not doctors. We have to assume when they say they're fully 100% healthy, that they're fully 100% healthy.
I have to ask, is this your love for value or love for white guys that have to be on your team?
Listen, okay? Listen. This is the guy that was drafted early first round the year before because of what he put up. He has not reached that age, the age clip yet where he's like too old. He was hurt last year. If he's healthy, they've already said, they've already said this offense runs through Cooper Kupp. So listen, Puka's great, and I think Puka's going to be great. But if it comes down to the choice, am I taking Puka Nakua as the wide receiver 7, or am I taking Cooper Kupp as the wide receiver 24? Who's going to have a better finish? I will take Cooper Kupp all day long, 100% all day long. As far as my next love is Deebo Samuel. Regardless of what happens with Brandon Ayuk. If Deebo Samuel stays healthy, they use him in the run game. They use him in the pass game. That dude's all over the field, and that guy is like literally a genetic freak. I haven't seen a genetic freak like that since me out of high school. But moving on with that, the other one is I actually this year we have this group of receivers with Drake London, Chris Olave, and Garrett Wilson, where we're kind of like waiting to see them break out, but we keep making excuses. Well, their quarterback this or that or whatever, this and that. I think the Falcons offense this year, if again with Kirk Cousins there, assuming he is healthy, I think with the coaching staff, what they've given us in this offseason, wanting to like focusing on, like they've came out and said we need to utilize Bijan like we do, like they do with McCaffrey and Kyle Pitts. They're putting him out at receiver more. Like we're hearing like they're finally recognizing the talent that they have and actually like we're using this talent. So I'm excited about Drake London. I think that enough people have been burned by him in the past where like he could fall into that fourth round. I'll take Drake London all day with Kirk Cousins as a quarterback. Give me that all day. My hate, Devontae Adams. Talk about talent all you want. If your wide receiver isn't happy because the person throwing the ball is Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew, he don't care. He's at a point in his career. I promise you this: Devontae Adams will not be a Raider by the end of this season. He will want to be traded because the Raiders will start at 0-3, 0-4, and that's it. He's already made that known. Like he doesn't want to be on this team. He doesn't. He knows that he's not going anywhere at this point in his career. Like that's it. So I don't want a guy that is like halfway foot out the door.
Let's gotta get the list going here. Let's go.
Okay. Next one, Marvin Harrison Jr. Folks, never take a rookie at any position when they're going the wide receiver 11. Remember N'Keal Harry? Everybody got all jacked about that. The dude has not done anything in the NFL. I'm not saying he won't have a good season. I'm not saying any of that. But wide receiver 11, look at the wide receivers that are after him. You're really going to take a guy that is, a rookie that was.
Dude, he is not N'Keal Harry. Get out of here.
He's not, but what has he done? What has he done? Nothing. All I'm saying, and listen, Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be a fantastic receiver in the NFL. What I'm saying is, for you viewers out there, I'm telling you, for where he's going in the draft, that draft pick is too valuable to take on a rookie that we don't know anything about. If he falls, and he's later right now he's going he is going let me see 22, so that's like what, fourth round. Like if he falls to the fifth, sixth, seventh, fine, take it. But as your number one, number two wide receiver, please guys, don't make a mistake.
Gotta pass. Go ahead.
The last one is there's been a lot of talk on whatever, Twitter, Sleeper, whatever, about stay away from all Green Bay receivers. Like, we don't know who or what that offense is going to look like, who's going to be the number one. Just stay away from all of them. Like, let this season figure it out, and then put your sights on next year. Don't draft any of them.
Drew, take it around real quick, man.
All right, I'm going to go real fast. My guy is Jalen Waddle. Look, I mean, I know Tyreek Hill's great. I know Tyreek Hill's fast. If Tyreek Hill ever does get hurt, I mean, the guy he's been like, he's next level weird. But if Tyreek Hill ever gets hurt, Jalen Waddle has so much potential. And we already seen him do it before. He's already been a top 10 guy before in his career. It's his health as well. His health can, for me, A.J. Brown. You guys are talking about these other these other receivers, this, that, and the other. This guy has a legit quarterback. A.J. Brown's a freak of nature when it comes to that. He was on such a high on the last year, like the first 10 games, 125 yards, this, that, and the other. Like, A.J. Brown's a stud. He's going to get his no matter what. And the other guy I want to take a flyer on, even though I hate on Josh Allen, he has 240 targets. He needs to get somebody. And Keon Coleman looks like he could be that guy. Keon Coleman, he's a rookie, but like Jake said, I don't like drafting rookies, but when it's in the 10th round, I'll take it. I'm not taking Maserati Marv in the first or second round either. These guys I hate, it's honestly just quarterbacks. Yeah, they're fantastic, but their quarterbacks suck. Justin Jefferson, I'm not taking him in the first round. Devontae Adams, I'm not touching him. He's older. He's 32 now, and it's just like You know, it's just like when Ben fell in love with Julio Jones. Let him fall in love with Julio Jones. It's gonna be the same thing with Devontae Adams. He's gonna suck. DK Metcalf, I don't want him anymore. He can't even calm his own nerves to play football. He's swinging helmets at teammates. The guy's an idiot. The guy can touch touchdowns. He can do this,
Love
that,
the
and the other.
passion.
But he just doesn't. Like, dude, year after year, I want to draft him every time. I know maybe it's my Niner hatred towards him. Fuck him this year. I'm not taking it. I'm not falling in love with the hype. Even though he's there, he might be there, and I might be just like shining light.
Go ahead, yo.
Excellent. Well, look, guys, for the sake of time, we know that with tight end, if you don't get the top 4 guys, the rest of the league is screwed. So no matter who you love or hate, it is what it is. We're gonna, we'll continue. We'll cover the tight end as we go in the mock draft next week. We'll figure that out. For the sake of time, we got to cut it off. We're okay. I want to say thank you, guys. That was fantastic work. As you can see to all our viewers, we got plenty of info, plenty of details per player all around the league, okay? But got to cut it off for the last segment of the show. Nick, you're
real
Go ahead.
Quick, I'm going to say, as you guys were chit-chatting, we're gonna keep each other accountable this year, okay? So we're gonna look back and see who was right, who was wrong. All right.
Okay.
So I'm gonna keep the spreadsheet. It's gonna be this year.
Excellent.
And we're gonna make tabs of anything we do all year long. I'm gonna make a new tab. I'm gonna keep track on the show, and we're gonna see who was right, who was wrong. So
Fucking love Nick.
our viewers to know
Excellent.
that we keep our sports ranters accountable for their ranting. All right.
Fantastic. I want to say thank you. Well, speaking of you, Nick, you're Mexican, all right? So, like I said, anyway, I don't know why I'm leading with that, but anyways, it's the sports ranter world. We're all about sports, so we're going to cover the hottest topics that are happening right now. We're going to do it here at the Sports Ranters. So, like I said, Nick, you're Mexican. So we're going to assume that your daughter is a boxer in the Olympics, okay? So, come you find out that she has to box against a biological male, okay? Do you convince her to not compete, or do you Russian Rocky super train her to punch him in the donkey? Go.
Well, that I agree with both of those. So it's either she punches him where it hurts, and you know what I'm talking about, and it's gonna be legal punches, or she ain't boxing that guy. I'm so against all that nonsense. There's 2 genders, and that's it. I don't want to get into it. That's it. When there's a skeleton and they need to identify the body, they can tell by the skeletal bones if it's a male or female, not these 46 different genders out there. It's male, female. We're biologically structured different. A male can literally kill a female just based on muscle mass alone. Doesn't matter the size, doesn't matter the weight. It's a muscle mass thing, right? A 160-pound male is not the same as a 160-pound female. It's literally science. No, she ain't getting in there unless it's to cut his thing off. That's what she's going in there for, and that's it.
Drew, real quick, we're going to end with Jake.
I think it's pretty simple. It's one of those things where, dude, I saw this and I knew that at some point I was gonna have to talk about this. I didn't think it was gonna be here, but yeah, bro, it's unreal. It's absolutely unreal. I just can't believe that even at the Olympic level, it's getting to this point. You know, I can see like where it's like, you know, it's already a complete tragedy, like high school sports and college and this, that, and the other, that these people are having to deal with this. But I mean, at an Olympic stage level where you're training 4 years. Not just that, but you're training your whole life for this one event, and you're on stage with somebody who is physically like, look at that person. Like, it's night and day. It's just not right, dude. And to see the woman in tears and this, that, and the other when she loses and this, that, and it's like, dude, it's not fair. It's completely not fair, and it just sucks that that has happened even at the Olympic stage. It's ridiculous.
There's a reason why it's always been divided with women and men with both events, right? I agree. Jacob, close us out, bud.
As far as the situation in the Olympics goes, it's a little confusing to me because they had initially said that person was born with XY chromosomes that suggest a boy, but it's like at some point early on or whatever, the chromosomes changed, or like, I'm not sure. I don't understand. like there was some confusion. Like honestly, I did a lot of reading on this, and it's like I couldn't like get what people were trying to get at. Was she born biologically one or the other, and then there was a change? I couldn't get. But I would like to. I'd rather go to like the Leah Thomas, the swimmer thing, where it's like we just can't have this. Like going to the women have fought so hard for their recognition in certain things, and now we have this idea in society where we have to cater to this warped mindset that a male can say, well, I'm a female and I'm going to go in and box, swim, whatever, all these female. And years ago, I think everybody felt, like, yeah, it's just, you can be who you want to be. But now that it's coming to fruition and it's like dudes are beating these women, physically or records and this and that, people are going, this ain't right. And so, regardless of what you think, whatever, like sports, sports organizations, they need to really like go and redefine what classifies what, because and for me, I like this, but yeah, women see like, no, this ain't right. Like it seemed like a great idea and like I'm being so virtuous years ago, but when a dude starts kicking the shit out of your daughter or starts breaking records that women fought to get on the map for, it's like, no, it's not right. And I think that there's some derangement if you can justify that in your head.
I just want to add, I just don't understand. It's very simple. We have rules for everything. Why can't it just be a rule? Like it doesn't do whatever you want to do. Do whatever you do in your house. You could be whatever you want to be as an adult. That's fine. But once you start competing, there's rules, right? My son plays soccer. 100%. He can't go play with 5-year-olds. Are they being ageist? Are they being ageist?
Like, I'll say this. It's like,
we have rules for everything.
Exactly like Nick said. You can be whatever you want to be and think whatever you are. But don't force me to have to believe and agree with like your delusion. You're not going to be a 170-pound dude that goes and beats up on a woman and expect, if you want to think you're a woman and live your life that way, that's okay. But if you want me to like have that delusion carry over to say that this is morally right, it's not.
Yes, it's a delusion because you can't be an advocate for domestic violence in the home and then allow it to be portrayed on TV at the Olympics. So I want to, great point, you guys. I appreciate. I want to say thanks to all our hosts, Nico, Drew, and Jake, and thank you to our million viewers for joining us for our first episode of the Sports Ranter. We're going to bring it to you live every Tuesday, 6 p.m. We're going to bring it to you live and strong all the way through April. So, guys, see you next week, 6 p.m. for our live mock draft. All right? Peace out, guys.
Peace.
Later, guys.
Raiders.